Which TV series was dragged out onto far too many episodes?
Most of them, though, for real.
I feel like I know why this was picked.
Do you? Why do you think I picked this one? I'm curious what your thought is.
I just wonder what show you're gonna pick, Kyle. I want you to go first.
You want me to go first? All right.
Yeah.
All right. I will go first because I read this and I immediately said to myself, I had several different thoughts, but my first instinctual pick. Do you have a guess? I know you have a guess. What's the guess?
Big Bang Theory.
Oh, shit. No, I thought you were going to fucking make fun of me for wanting to beat up on One Piece and how there's over 1,050 episodes now.
It's so good, though.
Yeah, whatever. We're not going there today, guys. Let's not be fucking weebs. Let's talk about shit that's not anime. Okay. I was going to say, instinctually, The Walking Dead. That should have ended after like season 5 or 6. They somehow got like 11 seasons out of that shit. But this was one where I was genuinely curious what people's answers were for it. So I scrolled through the comments.
Yeah, mine is very prevalent in there, actually.
Oh, so upon further inspection of the situation, I found that The Walking Dead is a very worthy pick and definitely, fell throughout the comments. But upon further inspection, The Simpsons probably should have ended about 20 years ago. So, yeah, it's sad what The Simpsons is to me these days in a lot of different ways. But, it also went a few other different ways. Before I share like my other 17 thoughts about it, what was your instinct pick, Rayshawn?
The show that I think ran on for too long. I don't know. You have to pick someone else.
I'll go first because I have two, and they were both on that list because I also scrolled afterwards. But my first pick was Grey's Anatomy, and I think it's very, very heavily in there. I don't even know how many seasons they have anymore, but I was a very serious Grey's Anatomy fan for many, many years. I think after season 6, it just really got unbelievable and totally downhill. I think when you have a show, for me, the sweet spot of a show is 5 to 7 seasons. I genuinely think if your show goes longer than 7 seasons, the writing is just bad. Like, you should be able to have a whole show in that period of time. And my other little caveat is if you no longer have 99% of the original cast in the show, like, that's another big clue that it's gone on too long. I think 5 to 7 is peak. For real. Because after season 6, Grey's Anatomy, it's shit. And then my other pick is The Vampire Diaries. And again, I watched up till season 5 or maybe 6, and I was super into it. And I didn't even see the last 2 or 3 seasons because they were so bad. Like, they just, it gets to a point where it just gets bad. And you should have been able to give it a good ending before then. 5 to 7.
Agreed.
More than that is just terrible.
I'm on okay. This I think might be a good pick. Some people might have watched this show. I think it's actually a legendary show because it's kind of funny.
Okay.
Community. I think once Donald Glover left, the show was already it was over. And then they tried to come back with the new season, and I was like, no. Even people all talk shit about the old man. I know he said some crazy stuff to Donald Glover, but he was fucking hilarious. On the show,
he was funny. So, I liked the first few seasons of Community. It was funny.
It was hilarious.
Yeah,
one of some of the amazing shows.
Seasons 1 through 3 were really, really good.
What's the gas leak season? That's season 4, right? That's the one where Darren Harmon got fired, and they just blamed the whole season on a gas leak, I believe.
I don't know.
Whatever it was.
If it was season 4, I didn't see it. I saw seasons 1 to 3. Season 4. It's good.
Yeah. Good fucking pick, Rayshawn.
I agree.
Criminally underrated. And let's hope they make the movie or whatever. But after they have the gas leak season, they bring him back for one season, and then they do one on Yahoo fucking streaming, whatever was around for 6 months, and it was should just let it die with some dignity, man. Because by the end of it, it was so hard to find to watch the end of it,
Yeah, and it was already a top tier show.
Actually, your pick actually kind of brings me to one of my other thoughts about how to approach this question, because we all pretty much just said too many episodes. There were some shows that weren't super long, like they live in that 5 to 7 season vicinity, but like they should have ended
been shorter.
Yeah, they should have ended around 3 seasons. And the 2 shows that I have for that, Arrested Development, similar kind of treatment to Community. Once that thing went to fucking Netflix and they did that weird season and then they remixed it, and Arrested Development should have died when it died. I'm always happy to see the cast get back together, and I'll probably watch it, but also it's far past its greatness. It was once a self-contained, beautiful thing, and now they've exploited it for like 2 or 3 more seasons, and it's been kind of mediocre at best, terrible for most of it. So that's one. And then the other one, I don't know if either of you watched this, but the show Weeds. Y'all watch that?
I never saw it.
A little bit. I've seen a little bit of it.
Nancy Botwin, suburbs mom, she goes on to sell mad weed and like make her shit because she's widowed now with 2 kids. And, all of a sudden she's going to like Detroit to pick up weed in the hood, and it's wild. The first 3 seasons of that show are amazing. It goes on to, I think, 7 seasons. And like the end of the 3rd season, I think the town, like the entire town, burns down. And there were some questions about whether or not they were going to continue the show or not. And it would have ended on this note of the town burning down so beautifully, like to round out this whole fucking story. And then they come back for season 4, they get picked up because it's a very profitable show. And it's like, shit, what do we do now? Oh, well, I think they go to fucking Mexico. Like, we're in Mexico and we're dealing with the cartel now. And like a couple seasons later, well, she obviously did so many crazy things that she's in jail now and she's hiding grenades in her pussy for a pound of fucking weed. Like, weird, crazy, out there shit like that, where it's like, dude, if this ended in the first 3 seasons, this could have been such a perfect, beautiful show, and you fucking killed its reputation or whatever with these crazy last few, just going for the money, ridiculous seasons. It was very grounded until then, at least mostly.
You can tell.
Sorry, you can go ahead. Oh.
Well, I was going to say, like, another thing that's not exactly in the same vein, because it's not necessarily more seasons, but I think that almost every time a show has had, like, a reboot, like, years later, it's bad, and they should just not do it. And the 2 examples that come to head are, I haven't seen that one, but The Fuller House is so bad. Like, what was the point of that? All of it was bad. Everything was bad. The idea was bad. The original show really wasn't very good. The reboot is just terrible. Why did you even do it? And then the other one that comes to mind for me about this was Boy Meets World. They did like a reboot of like Girl Meets World. Yeah. Why? Like, just make a different show. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the reboots feel so weird. They feel so like, they feel recycled. And I just think that it's unnecessary and I don't like it. So,
I will push back a little bit. I will push back a little bit on Girl Meets World, only because I tried to watch it a little bit and it was sort of a different formula. They were like, I mean, it had to be because it's A, 30 years later, and B, it's a girl versus a boy. But it was a little bit different, but they did rely heavily on the old characters. I was such a fan of Boy Meets World growing up. That is something.
Me too. I really liked that show growing up.
Yeah. Honestly, dude, now that we're there, that one kind of ran a little bit longer than it should have.
They always do.
Corey and Topanga go to college and shit. Yeah. And they like get married in their dorm room and like want to kill each other on their fucking honeymoon night.
And they lived in that shitty.
And they're like 19 years old. Like, man, Boy Meets World.
When Topanga gave up Yale for Corey, that was just so unreal to me. I could not even fucking believe it.
Got engaged at Disneyland in front of the dolphin show.
So
like, what the hell, man?
The main dude don't even talk to them no more. That's hilarious.
Yeah, dude. Ben Savage, he was he's Fred Savage's little brother. He did that, but like he's trying to shed the Hollywood thing so we can be a politician in California right now. Is what I like. Once he announced his intentions to run for office, he stopped talking to his Hollywood friends.
That's hilarious.
Yeah,
but on a high note, I wanted to mention 2 of the most baddest females in the TV game, Tina Fey and Amy Poehler.
Hell yeah.
Tina Fey made 30 Rock, and I was surprised how funny I thought that show was, because I've never really wanted to watch it before until somebody made me randomly watch it, and we fucking went to almost all the seasons that night. Because I was sitting here like, how the fuck have I never watched this? I've never knew Tina Fey was fucking hilarious.
I've never seen it.
Oh,
yeah,
Alec Baldwin is a
out.
beast in that.
Kelly,
Yeah.
you've never seen
No,
30
I've never
Rock?
seen
You
it.
and Tina Fey have very similar vibes sometimes.
Do we?
Yes.
I just
can
feel
see
like
that.
I have like weird anxiety where it's hard for me to start like a new show. I don't really know like why. Well, I do know why, and I talk about it in therapy. It's just anxiety. But there are a lot of things that I like have that are like on my like list of things that I think I probably would like to watch, but I just will never watch them, and I'll just watch Jurassic Park again for the 1,000th time, or I'll just put on Schitt's Creek again for the millionth time. You know what I mean? Like something I could probably quote. It's weird.
Let me pitch you on 30 Rock real quick, okay? It's
Okay, what's it
basically a
about?
mock. It's a mock version of Saturday Night Live
I thought
behind the
so.
scenes, and she's
Yeah.
the head writer of it. But you and her have very similar energy. Also, if you can hear my dog barking, sorry about that.
That's okay.
And she wrote for SNL, so
But I've never even really
she's got
seen
the
Saturday
real.
Night Live.
That's okay though. I think it's way more interesting to think about the behind the scenes experience and all the crazy shit
Okay.
that a writer has to deal with and manage, with all the personalities that they have to work with, all the people that are behind the scenes they have to work with. And it's infinitely funny, dude. Alec Baldwin is amazing in it. Tracy Morgan as Tracy Jordan is one of the funniest fucking
Okay.
television characters of all time. But it's it's like 22-minute episodes. It's very
they're
self-contained
quick.
for the most part. There are season arcs for the most part that kind of just progress through like some of Liz's personal relationships in some cases, but it seriously can be get in, get out. You don't need to
Episodical,
commit to it.
kind of.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it helps if you have and you're familiar with it, but if you aren't, it still plays in a way where you can still find it enjoyable, even if you're not fully aware of all the background with her and Floyd, Jason Sudeikis' character, or like one of the. Didn't she date John Hamm, or does John Hamm work on some episodes? Why was John Hamm at 30 Rock? Did she fire John Hamm? There's a John Hamm joke somewhere in there.
I'll tell you.
You should watch 30 Rock.
You should watch it.
Yeah.
It's a great
Sometimes
show.
I watch stuff and I'm very pleasantly surprised. Then I'm like, why haven't I seen this? Like, I watched Brooklyn Nine-Nine a couple of months ago now, but I thought it was, I had not watched it. I'd been putting it off. I kept being like, I don't think I even like it or whatever. And then I thought it was very funny. I mean, I didn't watch all the episodes, but I thought it was very funny. So I'll check it out.
It does consider it is considered propaganda, for lack of a better term, but it is Michael Schur, and he's made some of the greatest television shows of all time, and The Office and Parks and Rec. So
what's propaganda? Explain
propaganda. It's like
propaganda for cops.
Yo, actually, another good pick for this one. Law and Order or SVU. Those NCIS, Blue Bloods,
so long.
NYPD Blue. That shit's probably off the air, but
SVU is only good because they use relevant cases. So it kind of gives them that new kind of feel to them. Because that's the only reason why I like them. Because I like some of the cases they do. Because sometimes you be like,
and they try to do like some current day shit too. I mean, it is like delayed like 6-9 months, whatever the production schedule is. But propaganda is basically anything that like somehow makes you think more fondly of cops.
I watch a lot of cop shit, and I don't think very highly of cops, so I don't know how much it totally works. Really,
I have watched pretty much all the Law and Order SVU in the world,
and I'm aware that it's fictional. You know what I mean? I'm like,
they make you feel like there's always that one good cop, because it's always the one good cop that's the main character that's willing to go behind the scenes to do what the right. But because like, what's that show 911? They give you like this black lady who is like by the book, like she hasn't made a mistake by anything, and it's like, I feel it, but I feel like that's not a true representation. I understand what you're saying, but I'm just like,
I think most of them are shitty. You want to hear a fun little statistic? Just keep this in mind while you're watching propaganda, okay? 50% of police officers are self-reported domestic abusers, which means that they have openly admitted that they abuse their partners. 50% of them.
Which means that that 50% is probably exponentially higher.
Way higher. I will be on the record, one person I would never personally want to be alone on a date with in any way is a police officer.
Yeah, I see that a lot on the dating apps. No cops, no Republicans, no Trumpists.
Yeah.
Not to
You
Toss
don't
it
know
out
they
there.
triggers. They triggers
Oh,
can
God,
be
no.
I
different
also
too.
see the exact opposite though as well. Like
Some people
I
are
love
super into
God's
that.
good
Yeah.
Trump. All right, if you're a liberal cook, swap left. I see that
Mm.
shit all of the time. But you're right, dude. There's Olivia Benson is a fictional character for a reason. Even
Yeah.
Elliot Stabler, terrible example of a cop. If you know the fucking history of Elliot Stabler, he's a
Elliot Stabler is
badass dude. He's
hilarious.
very entertaining to watch. He is a fucking terrible detective in a lot of cases.
Yes,
Not because
you a
like
low key want him to be the detective that gets you because you probably getting out because this nigga doing something illegal.
right? Because he's gonna punch you in the face in the interrogation room. Maybe SVU makes this list. I'll tell you what, though, I did scroll through the comments for this post just to round it out with my last thing I wrote down. I was very fearful to see two of my favorite shows of all time listed.
Oh, no.
And I did not see them listed.
No Buffy.
No Buffy. And no Dragon Ball. I expected Dragon Ball to be on there. I definitely expected One Piece. I saw more than one person comment One Piece. I
Those
also
people don't
expected
watch
Dragon Ball.
it. No one who really watches One Piece thinks that there's too many episodes.
I mean, unless you started back in 97 when that shit started. I mean, I guess people binge it and they catch up, but like 1,055 episodes, I think, is the recent count.
Yeah.
But see, it's different because I feel like One Piece has one thing it can say that almost any other anime doesn't. It's the fact that it has such a huge following of people who is up to date with the anime and want to see the next episode.
Yeah.
Like people are literally on a cancer deathbed asking the creators,
I can't
"Can you tell
die
me how
until
it
I find
is?"
out what happens in One Piece. Genuinely, sometimes that's kind of on my little list of things where I'm like, can't kill myself because I don't know what happens in One Piece. It's on there, actually.
I love that we have that in common, Kelly, except mine's is like, can't die yet. Got to see the moral arc and the granola arc animated in the new Super anime.
It's
But
really
all right, to round out the advice, okay? This is how we'll round it out without being a weeb. I said we won't be a weeb.
Yeah, sorry.
This is my anti-weeb talk to round out the episode. Make sure you rate and subscribe. If you're watching us on YouTube, please like the video. Comment down below about your thoughts on any of these topics. But okay, this is the math. 1,055 episodes, okay? Now, real quick, it's about 22 minutes for a broadcast episode of anime, right? Let's get rid of the opening song, the closing song, and the recap. Let's whittle it down to about 18 minutes per episode. Does that sound fair?
Okay.
All right. So
are we still talking about One Piece?
Yes, 1,055 times 18 minutes. Guess how many minutes that is? I'm not going to make you guess. I'm just going to tell you because I have a calculator. It's 18,990 minutes. That's a lot of motherfucking minutes. How many hours is that, I wonder? That's 316 and a half hours. That's pretty fucking wild as well. Now, I wonder how many days that will go into. 13.1 days. That's actually not even as long as I expected it.
It's
if you
not
could
that
just
long.
dedicate 13.1 complete days of your life, you could be caught up on One Piece in less than 2 weeks.
I've done
You
it
can't
multiple
sleep,
times.
you can't go to work, but man, 13.1 days and I'm caught up on One Piece. I can get hyped for Gear 5 or whatever the hell. All these
Oh my
kids
god,
start.
shut the fuck up, guys.
Bro, I got kids like fucking not like talking to me on Twitter, but in my Twitter feed, just like, Gear 5's gonna blow Super Saiyan out of the water. I don't know what the fuck these Dragon Ball fans
I hate
want.
when people do that. If you have
you don't have to compare, you know?
If you have to compare your event to an awesome event, it's not going to be like that event. Your event has to be better than that event. I hate when people do that.
To an awesome event from 1989, bro. From almost 35 years ago. You've been trying to do something as cool for almost 35 years. Just think about the greater context, One Piece fans. All right, so that's it. We're done. That was our anti-weeb talk of the day. Although 13 days.
But you can find there's this site, I can't remember what it's called, but there's this fan who dedicated a lot of time cutting out all of the unnecessary like parts of One Piece, where sometimes they've whittled episodes down to only like 7 minutes, because I will admit that there are times where there's like a lot of unnecessary faff going on. You know what I mean?
Where do you think they got that from? They got it from Dragon Ball in the early 90s, bro. I get it.
And they still do it. Yeah. And there's a person who dedicated a lot of time making it shorter, and I think it's significantly less time and you still get all the real highlight plot
parts. You know who dedicated all that time? Some fucking nerd. And if you're a nerd, if you're that nerd listening to this now, hit us in the comments.
Thank you.
That's going to do it for the Advice Pod. We will talk to you guys again next Friday. Please rate and subscribe to the show wherever you're listening, because that helps other people find the show. I've had a fly flying around me for the duration of this episode, so I'm happy you were patient, because I definitely didn't feel patient. I will talk to you guys next week. Advice.
Next Super Saiyan.
Right. We are awaiting.
Y'all not even gonna be who's the last form? Like, y'all not even the
word.
last.
The final word with Rayshawn.
I didn't even get to say don't be a butt cheek, because that was just on my mind.
That's what we're waiting for, Rayshawn.
Yeah, that's exactly what we were waiting for. This is perfect.
Oh man, don't be a butt cheek, guys. Because it's just like, it's not even Ultra Instinct level. Like, you know what I mean? Like, why would you want to pit it like right there? No, I'm just like, it's just, I like One Piece and all. I just, Dragon Ball is top tier to me. But don't be a butt cheek, guys. That's not what I did.
As he says in his Dragon Ball t-shirt. Beautiful.